Imagine you're staring at the shelves of a pet store, overwhelmed by the hundreds of dog food brands, each claiming to be the best. It's not just a choice between chicken or beef, grain-free or whole grain, wet or dry. There are factors to consider like your dog's breed, age, size, and even any health issues they might have. And then there's the question of whether your pooch will even like the food or not. And if you thought that was complex enough, wait till you hear about the importance of an official nutritional adequacy statement, recall histories, and the role of legumes. Then you'll realize it's a whole other ball game. But among all these options, there are 10 brands that veterinarians and animal experts swear by. Want to know what they are? Well, you'll just have to stick around. What's up, my amazing and curious folks? Ready to unravel mysteries together? I'm your host, Cesar Chagas, and with me today, bringing her sharp insights and delightful humor, is the lovely Sonia.
Hey everyone! Super excited to dive into today's topic with you all.
Oh, and folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. You don't want to miss out on any of our future episodes that will feed your curiosity and broaden your knowledge. Now, let's get into it. So, while there's a vast array of dog food options out there, it's clear that there are certain factors we should consider. Factors like the dog's age, size, breed, and health status, as well as how much they enjoy their food. And of course, it's essential to look at a brand's recall history and whether they have an official nutritional adequacy statement from the Association of American Feed Control Officials.
Absolutely, and it's interesting you mentioned the importance of palatability. You know, that reminds me of a personal story from my childhood. We had this scruffy little terrier named Scraps. Now, Scraps was a picky eater. We tried different brands, but he would just turn up his nose at them.
Oh, I can imagine how frustrating that must have been.
Oh, it was. But then, we discovered this small local brand that made dog food using organic ingredients. We decided to give it a try. And would you believe it? Scraps loved it. He would finish every last bit in his bowl. It was a lifesaver for us.
That's a great story. It just goes to show how much our furry friends' preferences matter when choosing their food.
Exactly. And it's not just about what they like, but also what's good for their health. It's a good idea to consult your vet before changing your pet's diet. And remember, every dog is unique, so what works for one might not work for another.
Furthering our discussion on dog food, it turns out that the Food and Drug Administration has issued a warning against certain grain-free foods. They think these may be linked to an increase in a heart condition called dilated cardiomyopathy in dogs. Interestingly, it's not the lack of grains causing the issue, but the legumes or peas added as substitutes.
Oh, interrupting you there. That's such a crucial point. We often consider grain-free as healthier, but it's worth remembering that the replacements for grains can sometimes cause issues. It's like, for humans, we can't just remove gluten from our diet and replace it with anything. It's important to ensure that the replacement is also nutritious and safe.
Absolutely, a balanced diet is key. Now, when it comes to choosing food for small and toy breed dogs, the main difference lies in the size of the chunks. You want to give them something easy to bite and chew. For large breed dogs, they need lower calorie food in larger portions because they have a slower metabolic rate.
That's right. And not to forget, the choice between wet and dry food involves factors like convenience, price, and whether your pup drinks enough water. Wet food is a good way to keep them hydrated. Speaking of hydration, fresh and human-grade dog meals are also considered wet foods since the cooking processes help retain moisture.
And finally, the cost. It's always a factor to consider, without compromising on quality. Speaking of quality, 10 out of 13 vets we spoke to recommended Royal Canin dog food for their own pets and the dogs they treat. Quite a recommendation, isn't it? Delving further into the Royal Canin dog food, it's endorsed by numerous professionals. One veterinarian commends it for being backed by actual research and feeding trials, which is a testament to the brand's commitment to delivering excellent real-world results. It's noteworthy that the food also seems to be quite palatable, with pets showing a strong liking for it.
I suppose taste matters even in the dog world.
Absolutely. One pet owner, for instance, noted that her Australian Shepherd mix was so drawn to the food that it ran immediately to the bowl when she opened the bag. And despite usually being a grazer, her dog quickly finished the food.
I guess that's a clear sign the dog food's a hit.
Indeed. And there's also a strategy called mixed feeding, which involves providing a little of both dry and wet foods. It offers the advantages of fewer carbs, more flavor, and additional moisture, which is beneficial for dogs that don't drink enough water. One vet even mentioned that his dogs love Royal Canin's low-fat canned dog food.
So, it's not just about the type of food but also how you serve it. Very interesting.
Yes, and it's also important to note that the brand offers options for dogs with specific needs. For instance, a French bulldog named Caesar, who had digestion issues, was switched to this gastrointestinal-friendly food and quickly took a liking to it. So, it seems the brand caters to a range of dietary requirements, which is crucial. After all, every dog is unique, and so are its dietary needs. Now, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about a different type of dog food made with human-grade ingredients. One pet owner shared her experience with us. Her soft-coated Wheaten Terrier had been facing some stomach issues, to the point where the dog lost almost 25% of its total body weight. She decided to switch to food made with human-grade ingredients, and it had an immediate positive impact on her dog's health.
Wow, that's quite dramatic. But what exactly does human-grade mean in this context?
That's an excellent question. Human-grade in this context indicates that the food is suitable for human consumption. It's often made with quality ingredients that you might use in your own kitchen. In fact, this particular food is gently dehydrated and, according to the pet owner, looks almost like a well-prepared human meal. To serve it, you simply add warm water to rehydrate the food and wait a few minutes for absorption.
I see. But what about the cost? It sounds like it could be more expensive.
It can be, but the cost varies based on the brand and other factors. The one we're discussing here costs 99 cents per pound. But remember, the health benefits it offered to the dog we discussed were significant.
That's a good point. It's not just about the price but the value it provides.
Exactly. Now, let's touch on another controversial topic: raw food diets for dogs. Opinions vary greatly in the veterinary community. Some vets caution against it due to potential health risks for both the dog and humans in the household. Others believe that with extra hygienic precautions, the added nutritional benefits like improved digestion and fewer allergies make it worth considering.
It seems like there's no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to dog food.
You've hit the nail on the head. Each dog has its own unique needs, and what works best can vary. It's always important to do your research and consult with a knowledgeable vet. We've touched a little on raw food diets, but there's another option that mitigates some of the concerns about health risks: freeze-dried raw foods. These foods have a lower risk of foodborne illnesses and don't require refrigeration. One vet we spoke with mentioned she would feed her dog a raw diet if it didn't have specific food sensitivities, and her choice would be these dehydrated raw turkey patties from Stella & Chewy's, a brand she highly recommends.
So freeze-dried raw food is another option for pet owners interested in a raw diet but concerned about potential risks.
Exactly. Now, fresh dog food is another route that some dog owners prefer. It's more appealing because it looks more like something humans would eat. One vet we spoke with, who feeds fresh cooked dog food to his own pets, stresses that whatever food you choose, it must be nutritionally balanced.
Right, the food should meet the dog's dietary needs.
Yes, and a good way to ensure this is to look for foods with the AAFCO stamp of approval. One such brand is Nom Nom, which works directly with a veterinary nutritionist to create diets specific to your pet that conform to AAFCO standards. The brand offers a subscription-based service, and the costs vary based on factors like your pet's breed, age, and weight goals.
So, it's a more personalized approach to dog food.
Precisely. For a slightly cheaper option, there's a subscription-based food from the farmer's dog. Like Nom Nom, the costs vary based on factors like your pet's size and dietary needs. So, there's a range of options out there, each catering to different needs and preferences. The farmer's dog, which we mentioned earlier, also worked with veterinary nutritionists to formulate their recipes. They've even released results from ongoing long-term feeding trials, showing that the nutritional value in their food exceeds AAFCO recommendations. They offer wet food options and, like Nom Nom, provide a personalized meal plan based on your pet's specifics.
It's impressive to see the lengths these companies are going to in order to provide quality food for pets.
Indeed, and they're not alone. Just Food for Dogs is another California-based company that's doing good work in the realm of fresh cooked food for dogs. They've got an excellent team of vets and they offer vet-prescribed diets. They've also managed to overcome the challenge of low palatability that often comes with such foods. They offer a range of meals made from human-grade ingredients, and their pantry stable and ready to eat, with no questionable preservatives.
That's good to know. Are there any other recommendations for dog owners?
Yes, for those who own large and giant breed dogs, it's recommended to avoid foods that contain legumes as a protein source. This is due to a potential connection between grain-free food and a condition called DCM. One pet owner we spoke with switched her 4 big dogs, including 2 purebred Akitas, to Purina Pro Plan salmon-sensitive stomach, which contains brewer's rice and barley, and no legumes.
So owners really need to consider their dog's breed, size, and health conditions when selecting a food.
Absolutely, there's a lot to consider. The key is to find a balance that meets your dog's nutritional needs, fits your budget, and aligns with your values and preferences. Continuing our journey through the world of dog foods, Purina Pro Plan also garners much appreciation from experts. This brand not only meets AAFCO standards but also offers a wide variety of proteins. Everything from chicken, beef, salmon, duck, lamb, pork, to even quail is available. This variety is crucial as not all proteins agree with all dogs.
So, it's about finding what works best for your dog, not just in terms of nutrition, but also what they can digest without issues, correct?
Exactly. For instance, one dog owner we spoke with switched to a fish-based Purina Pro Plan food after discovering her Australian Shepherd had a sensitivity to chicken. She found that many other so-called salmon-flavored foods still had chicken byproducts, which didn't work for her dog.
That's an excellent point. Not all flavors are created equal.
Right. Now, turning to dogs with allergies, a superhydrolyzed diet can often be the solution. These diets break down proteins into individual amino acids. While it's not a natural diet, it can work wonders for dogs with significant allergies. Such a diet is recommended by several vets we spoke with, including one whose elderly boxer with severe inflammatory bowel disease thrives on it.
That's a great reminder that what's best for a dog isn't always a natural diet, but what works best for their unique health needs and circumstances.
Absolutely. Another vet-prescribed food that's popular is from Hills. It's a little less costly than the previous option and is favored by a Great Dane owner who uses it to address her dog's skin allergies. So, there's a whole range of options out there, and the best choice can often depend on the specific needs of your dog. Another success story came from a Great Dane named Benny. After his owner noticed Benny licking his paws and legs until the skin became inflamed, a diet change was suggested. This involved a mix of dry and wet food from Hills.
And did that work?
Yes, the owner, Gertsen, reported that Benny showed fewer allergy symptoms like itching and licking. It seems Benny also enjoyed the new food more than the previous one.
That's a win-win. Any other brands that have helped with skin allergies?
Indeed. From a Wisconsin-based brand, helped alleviate the symptoms of a hound mix named Maggie, who had suffered from itchiness due to skin allergies since she was a puppy. The improvement was significant after the switch.
So, From is another good option for dogs with skin allergies.
Yes. And unlike some of the other options we've discussed, From doesn't require a vet's prescription, which can make purchasing the food less of a hassle. It's not readily available at large retailers, but it can be found online or at local pet stores.
So it seems like there are a variety of options to suit different needs and circumstances, which is great. It just underlines the importance of individualized care for our pets, right?
Absolutely, individual care based on your pet's specific needs is the key. It's about finding the right balance for their unique health situation and preferences. So, to wrap up our deep dive into the world of dog food, it's essential to remember that these specific stories and brands we discussed are just examples of the numerous options available. The key takeaway here is the importance of finding the right food that meets your dog's specific needs, whether they're breed-specific, age-specific, or related to any health issues your furry friend might be facing.
And sometimes, it may require a bit of trial and error, right?
Absolutely. It's always a good idea to consult with your vet when deciding on a diet change. They can provide valuable insight based on their knowledge of your pet's health history and specific needs.
So, attention to detail, patience, and collaboration with your vet are vital for ensuring your pet's health and happiness.
That's a perfect summary. It's all about providing the best care for our furry family members. So there we have it, folks. The vast world of dog food, unmasked. From breed-specific to health-specific diets, from dry to wet to fresh options, the optimal meal for your furry friend is out there. It's about more than just filling their bowls, it's about addressing their unique needs and preferences.
And always remember, what works best for your canine companion may require some trial and error, some patience, and above all, some love. After all, the way to a dog's heart is through its stomach, right?
Well said.
And on that note, our time comes to an end. If you found our deep dive into the realm of dog food beneficial for your furry friends, do us a favor and hit that like button.
Don't forget to leave us a comment and share this episode with your fellow dog lovers. We appreciate your support.
As always, thank you for joining us here on Curiosity Wonderland. Until next time.
Goodbye, everyone. Stay curious. Our deep dive today was inspired by an article titled The 10 Very Best Dog Foods, written by Liza Corsillo and Brenly Gertzen, published on the New York Magazine site on September 15, 2023. If you want to delve deeper into this canine cuisine mystery, you can find the full URL in the video description. And with that, I'm off.